Well, happy Easter, everyone. Today is Easter Sunday, and I thought I'd share something with you really cool, and that is the living Christ. Because, a lot of people treat Christ's resurrection like it's some kind of mythology. The truth is Christ lived, Christ died, and he was resurrected, and he came from the dead, and he not only did he rise from the dead in the past, he's still alive today. And so I want to share with you this testimony of 12 living apostles on the earth about the living Christ. And, as we commemorate the birth of Jesus Christ 2 millennia ago, as we, commemorate the resurrection of Christ, we offer testimony of the reality of his matchless life and the infinite virtue of his great atoning sacrifice. No one else has had such a profound influence upon all who have lived and who are yet to live on the earth. He was the great Jehovah of the Old Testament, the Messiah of the New. Under the direction of his Father in heaven, he was the creator of the earth. All things were made by him, and without him, not anything made that was made. So Christ was sinless, but even though he was sinless, he was baptized to fulfill all righteousness. He went about doing good in his life, yet he was despised for it. His gospel was a message of peace and goodwill. He entreated all to follow his example. He walked the roads of Palestine. He healed the sick. He caused the blind to see. He raised the dead. He taught the truths of eternity, the reality of our premortal existence, the purpose of our life on earth, and the potential for the sons and daughters of God in the life to come. He instituted the sacrament as a reminder of his great atoning sacrifice. He was arrested and condemned on spurious charges, convicted to satisfy a mob, and sentenced to die on Calvary's cross. He gave his life to atone for the sins of all mankind. He was a vicarious gift in behalf of all of those who would ever live upon the earth. We, and again, this is coming from 12 apostles, living apostles, we solemnly we testified that his life, which is central to all human history, neither began in Bethlehem nor concluded on Calvary. He was the firstborn of the Father, the only begotten Son in the flesh, and the Redeemer of the world. He rose from the grave. That's what we celebrate here on Easter, to become the first fruits of them that slept. As risen Lord, he visited among those he loved in life. He also ministered among other sheep in ancient America. In his modern world, he and his Father appeared to be to the boy Joseph Smith, ushering in a long-promised dispensation of the fullness of times. Of the living Christ, the prophet Joseph Smith wrote, his eyes were as a flame of fire. The hair of his head was white like the pure snow. His countenance shone above the brightness of the sun, and his voice was as the sound of the rushing of great waters, even the voice of Jehovah saying, I am the first and the last. I am he who liveth. I am he who was slain. I am your advocate with the Father. Of him, the prophet also declared, and now, after the many testimonies which have been given of him, this is the testimony last of all, which we give of him, that he lives. On Easter Sunday, that's why I'm sharing this. Christ lives. For we saw him even on the right hand of God, and we heard the voice bearing record that he is the only begotten of the Father, that by him and through him and of him the worlds are and were created, and the inhabitants thereof are begotten sons and daughters of God. We declare in words of solemnity that his priesthood and his church have been restored upon the earth, built upon the foundation of apostles and prophets, Jesus Christ himself being the chief cornerstone. We testify that he will someday return to the earth, and the glory of God shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. He will rule as King of Kings and reign as Lord of Lords, and every knee shall bend and every tongue shall speak in worship before him. Each of us will stand. Uh, uh, um, each of us will stand to be judged of him according to our works and the desires of our hearts. We bear testimony as his duly ordained apostles that Jesus is the living Christ, the immortal Son of God. He is the King Emmanuel, who stands today on the right hand of his Father. He is the light, the life, and the hope of the world. His way is the path that leads to happiness in this life and eternal life in the world to come. God be thanked for the matchless gift of his divine Son. So that's the message I want to share with you today, Easter Sunday, that as we celebrate Easter Sunday, we must remember that this is the day of the living Christ. This is the day, this is Resurrection Sunday. And if you know Christ, you know this to be true. And if you don't know Christ, I invite you to pray about it and ponder the words of this beautiful document about the living Christ. Because Christ, didn't die and go away. Christ lives, and he walks amongst us. He's available to us. We can always connect with Christ through our prayers and through our meditations. I believe that prayer is talking to God and meditation is listening for his answers. So we do live in a crazy world right now, and the one person that can bring you that happiness is Jesus Christ. So God bless you. Have an amazing Sunday, and I hope you got value from me sharing this document with you. God bless you. Have a great Easter Sunday.